Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, in today's very, very special reading, I'm so excited for this one. We're going to take a look at some blessings that are coming your way this holiday season. Now, it doesn't matter whether you celebrate any holidays for this time of year, it doesn't matter if you hate the holidays, we're only talking about this time period. Around December 2023 through to the new year 2024. I'm really excited because I know the last couple of readings have been a little heavy. So I'm really excited to dive into something a little more fun and a little more upbeat today. So as always, we have three piles. For pile number one, we have this really cool, fun triangular long boy stone. For pile two, we have this flat guy. It's very, very narrow on the edge. And for pile number three, we have this tear/leaf-shaped guy. So the way today's reading is going to work is we're going to take a look at what blessings are coming your way this holiday season, what they pertain to, what area of your life is being blessed this holiday season, and any advice on how you can make the best of it. So go ahead and pick your piles. Timestamps are in the description below. As always, if this reading resonates, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And hello to all the new faces around here. I'm so glad you're here. But go ahead and pick your pile, and I'll see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile one, and welcome to your reading about what blessings are coming your way this holiday season. So like I said, it doesn't mean that you have to be someone who celebrates the holidays or even likes them. That's perfectly fine. We're only talking about this period, but if you do celebrate them, happy holidays. So the way I've structured this reading is we have 2 tarot cards and 2 oracle cards that will tell us what your overall theme of your blessing that's coming your way is. And then we have 3 tarot cards and 3 clarifiers to give us more insight into it. And then towards the end, we'll take a look at any advice or answers to any questions that you may have about these blessings. So without much further ado, let's dive in. I'm just going to put your little long boy maybe up here. Okay, cool. So your first 2 cards are the 9 of Coins and the Page of Cups in reverse. Pile 1, have you been seeking independence of some sort? Like there is something about maybe the way you make your money, since we have the 9 of Coins. Maybe there's something about the way you make your coin that feels a little too dependent on someone else. I hope this is in frame. And yeah, that was a firework. I don't know if you guys heard that. That feels like confirmation, but maybe this is a breakthrough in like a career sense, because the Page of Cups upright, at least in this deck, makes me think of like a connection or, being tied to someone by fate or by like a karmic tie sometimes. And it kind of feels like you're done with that and you're ready to step into your 9 of Coins energy, which is your independent money making, independent business strategy type deal. But so far this reading definitely feels a little like it's about career and just finances in general. Maybe you're someone who has not been able to find financial independence. And this holiday season is bringing you closer to that goal. Yeah. Oh, before we dive into any of the others, I have to mention before I forget, when I was shuffling your cards, it felt like they were falling right out and face up. Like the message was just desperate to come to me and to show itself. So maybe this is something you've been working on for a long time, or maybe you are so eager to have this financial independence, or however this resonates for you so far. Maybe you want to start your own business and this holiday season makes that possible, or at the there we go, that's our confirmation bike. Or at the very least, for those of you who are watching this and haven't watched any of my other readings, there's this bike that comes around about this time, and I feel like every time I hit the nail on the head with the message, it comes in very loud as confirmation. So it's the confirmation bike. So yeah, maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe this is something you've been working on and it just comes in like that, like just instantly, boom, and it's there. Yeah, I feel like that's the overall message. So let's take a look at these oracle cards. So first you have Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do this alone. Oh, my camera does not want to focus today. Hello. Okay, I'm just going to have to do it manually. Call in your soul tribe. You don't have to do this alone. There's something about like something karmic or like a soulmate or something like this. Maybe you're finding like your soulmate career. I don't know if that's something you think is a thing, but sometimes I like to think that our careers, our life's purpose, our work can be as much of a soulmate as another person is. And maybe you're finding that in your career. Maybe you're finding something that really, really sets your soul on fire. Something that you feel like you are specifically put on this planet to do. And then we have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy. Okay, thank you. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Interesting. Well, maybe there is literal, like, physical healing coming your way as well. But, I just heard healing financial trauma or poverty trauma. Oh, that is interesting. Now, I'm not saying this with any judgment whatsoever. Look, I've had my fair share of financial trauma, and it does take a lot of actual healing to work through it. And maybe that's what this Nine of Coins is about, is you working through all this financial trauma, which then brings you the abundance that you're seeking on your own terms. But this definitely feels like, normally the Soul Family card to me speaks about finding your equal, finding like your soul's twin. I hate the idea of twin flames. I'm sorry, it's just not for me. But do you see like all the mirroring here in this card? It definitely usually makes, there we go. It definitely makes me think about your twin soul. Someone who is exactly like you and who is, who has the same life's purpose as you, the same missions as you. But in this case, and this is literally the first time this has ever happened for me with this card, it kind of feels like your soulmate job, or like your soulmate work, something like that, something where you are coming into contact with your ideal work, your life's work, what you were put here to do. Oh, maybe. Okay. Sorry. I just got like a massive message just all at once. Maybe this healing is talking about the healing that you've done so far that has then freed you up to finally be able to pursue your life's purpose. Maybe you did come from a lot of like difficulty, a lot of issues that kept you stuck in unfulfilling work, and maybe you're finally at the point where you feel, I'm not tied to this anymore, I'm not tied to my trauma anymore, I can move forward and I can go and seek out what actually sets me on fire, what actually makes me want to wake up every morning. And that's the blessing coming your way this holiday season. That's wonderful. Maybe you'll find that your life's purpose has to do with the holidays. You never know. Because there's a lot of like greenery here that makes me think of like wreaths and holly bushes and mistletoe and things like that. But let's take a look at your tarot spread. So these three cards are going to give us some more clarification. We have the Lovers. Okay, the further we go into this reading, the more I feel maybe this is a literal soul connection, soul family. And this is card number 6, which is the number of Venus, I believe. And Venus usually talks about, finances, beauty, love, obviously. But I'm getting like the Taurian aspect of Venus, which is all about, money, wealth, abundance, your house, things like that. Maybe your dream career involves decoration, decorating houses. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. The next card we have is the Queen of Swords. Interesting. The Queen of Swords. Oh, lots of air energy, because the Lovers is Gemini, and the Swords cards, the Suit of Swords is all about air signs. Maybe you have a strong, or several strong air placements in your charts. But the Queen of Swords is usually seen as very like cutthroat, to the point. Maybe this is part of your healing journey where you stop mincing words, I'm hearing, where you stop beating around the bush and just say what's on your mind unapologetically. Maybe that's the journey you've been in. And the blessing coming your way is just this newfound confidence, this newfound strength to really, really just be your truest, authentic self. This feels like a very strong life purpose type reading. Not necessarily like what is your life's purpose, but rather you're coming into your life's purpose, you're starting to recognize it, and more importantly, actively engage with it. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, pile 1. Oh, this is wonderful. You have 2 major arcana. This is definitely very significant in your soul's journey for this lifetime. This is a very significant time for you, pile 1. But the Wheel of Fortune is, just everything is going your way. Life is just finally turning to your side. I don't know if that makes sense. Life is finally almost like turning on for you. It almost feels like you are living a muted kind of, nothing ever goes right for you type life. Or if things go right, it's after a lot of strife and struggle. Whereas it feels like this holiday season, things are looking up and quickly. Like I said, your cards were just falling straight out. Your message could not wait to get out. I definitely feel like this is very fast-paced energy coming your way. Pile number 1. Oh, that is so exciting. So looking at your clarifiers, we have the Lovers being clarified by the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups talks about crying over spilt milk in this image, literally, but also just not seeing the 2 cups that are still upright. And so maybe this opportunity has been around, or this path or this purpose has been around this whole time, and you just never recognized it. And that's interesting because you see in the Lover's card, she has her eyes closed. It's like she knows the beast is there. I do believe this is Beauty and the Beast. She knows this beast is here, but she has her eyes closed to it. Almost like, I'm not ready to look at you right now. Interesting. Yeah, maybe this isn't something that you've never engaged in before, whatever this opportunity is, whatever this job or work is. Maybe you have engaged in it, but maybe not in like a substantial way, if that makes sense. It feels a bit like you took whatever this skill is for granted, and you're finally opening your eyes to the potential here. You're finally seeing just how far you could take this, and you're finally noticing that you are actually supported through this process. Because the beast here definitely feels gentle and supportive, and it's this huge force that is kind of there to protect this small little beauty, this little girl. And it definitely feels like the universe is finally showing you just how intensely supported you are. I don't know if that makes sense. Just how powerful your guides are, or your purpose is, or you are. Just how much force there is rallying behind you to do the thing that you want to do. And maybe you just haven't recognized it quite yet. And this holiday season you do, because you've done all this healing. The Queen of Swords is clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Maybe. Okay. So maybe these two together, I mean, they're both queens, so it's definitely talking about emotional intelligence. But maybe you're starting to realize that what you've been doing so far just does not light you up anymore. It's just not as exciting as you were hoping it would be. And you're finally stepping into a power, stepping into your power, I guess. But stepping into a state of, I'm going to cut this out because I don't have time to be wasting doing things that don't set my soul on fire. I keep saying that phrase, don't I? Set your soul on fire. That is so interesting. Maybe you're missing some of that fire energy. Maybe it might help to get some, candles or some warm stuff, warmly colored stuff even, around your space. And that might really help you engage in like the right headspace that will then bring you to your purpose quicker. And finally, we have the Wheel of Fortune clarified by the Five of Swords in reverse. If there's one card you want to see in reverse, it is the Five of Swords, because with the Wheel of Fortune upright, it almost feels like there are no obstacles anymore. There's nothing standing in your way anymore. And I think it all just comes back to this deep cellular healing, this deep healing work that you've done that has taken you out of a situation where you felt you were destined to stay forever, but you're not. And you're starting to realize that there is more to the world. There's more out there for you. There's other shores, I keep hearing. Well, I have been hearing for a while now. There's other shores for you to explore. Maybe you're taking an international trip. You never know. Doing a bit of soul searching. Very eat, pray, love. But I do feel you're finding your purpose this holiday season. Or at the very least, you're putting down the groundwork to find it. Because the Nine of Coins talks about harvest. Well, in this deck, it talks about finally being able to harvest all the melons that you planted a while back. And maybe you are harvesting all the melons that you planted, but also it could be you just being able to see the vision. If nothing else, if it feels like it's not even anywhere near you being able to reap the rewards, maybe you're able to see the vision finally. Maybe you're blessed with clarity this holiday season. The vision that shows you exactly where you are meant to go. That's beautiful, Paul One. Okay, so go ahead and think of a question in regards to your holiday season blessings, or you can just go ahead and ask for some advice, and let's go shuffle some final oracle cards for you. So, pile number 1, please. What are the final messages? Oh, okay. That one. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Sorry if I just knocked my mic just now. Retreat, rest, be held. Again, with that deep cellular healing, maybe the advice here really is that you don't need to do anything to, receive this information or this vision or whatever. All you need to do is find stillness inside of yourself, and it will make itself known. Because again, it feels like this 5 of Cups energy where the water is so turbulent and she's just so upset and sad and just broken up about whatever she's lost, that she just doesn't even see that there's still 2 cups standing. Oh, interesting. I do think these two might be connected, because do you see the long black hair and like the white flowy dress, and they're both standing in the water, and see how she's turned away crying with flowers in her hair, whereas she is turned looking at the future with the flowers in her hand. Maybe the flowers have been in your hair this whole time, and you're only now realizing just how beautiful they are. Definitely just don't try to force an outcome. Don't try to force like a purpose to kind of make itself known to you or anything like that, because I do think it will come to you when you are calm and still and just allowing your mind to replenish after all this heavy healing work you've done. One more card, please, for whoa. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's 2, but let's see. Empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. This actually makes me think of this Page of Cups in reverse. Let me tell you why. It's because in this deck, do you see the art here? That red thread of fate? That's set to connect like soulmates together. And like I said at the beginning of this reading, it almost feels like you're stepping away from something that you thought you were destined to have to deal with forever. And maybe your healing has brought you to this point where you recognize that this whole, cutting yourself off from your true purpose or what really makes you happy might have been something you did out of empathy for someone else who was similarly cut off from their purpose. And maybe you're recognizing that what you felt was not yours to feel, it's someone else's, and you've just managed to absorb it because of the empathy that you have for this person or people. I think your biggest gift this holiday season, Pile One, is empathy. Oh, not empathy. Maybe, maybe you're receiving empathy from someone, but it's clarity. That's the word I was looking for. And clarity without even trying for clarity. You're getting vision. You're seeing what you're really here for. And honestly, no gift on this planet is worth more than finding your life's purpose. So that's your blessings for the holiday season, pal number one. I really hope you enjoyed this reading and it resonated and brought you some excitement for the rest of the month and for the new year ahead. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you did, then please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out so much. Thank you so much for being here, sharing your time and energy and allowing me to read for you today. Stick around to the outro for another reading, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading on what holiday blessings are coming your way. Now, again, it doesn't matter if you celebrate the holidays or you even care about them at all. This is mostly just talking about the holiday season in terms of a time frame. So, the way I'm going to structure this reading is we have 2 tarot cards and 2 oracle cards that are going to tell us the overall summary, the overall message for what blessings are coming your way. And then we have 3 tarot cards and 3 clarifiers. And then you can think of either a question or just ask for general advice about your blessings. And we'll shuffle a couple of oracle cards on camera. Wow. Okay. So if you guys chose this really flat looking little rock guy, yeah, he's really thin, then this is your reading. Welcome. So let's get straight in. Your first 2 cards are the Hierophant in reverse and the King of Coins. Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay, straight away, you want to know what I thought of? It's that, sorry, my chair's a little creaky. It's that really old gif from that movie where he's like, look at me, I am the captain now. It kind of makes me think that you've struggled with someone in a position of authority this whole time, and now you are the authority. And the blessing truly just feels like power, which is interesting, because the Hierophant is usually dogma, is my understanding of it, is things have been done a certain way and they will continue to be done a certain way. It is relying on tradition and how things have been done in order to provide us with, answers and support and all of that stuff. Whereas when we have that in reverse, it almost gives me like an Aquarius-y vibe, where it's kind of straying from that. It's looking at things in novel ways. But also a lot of the times the Hierophant to me feels a bit like a preacher energy, which I do think is the imagery in the original Rider-Waite deck, which I do not have, but I covered. But it definitely feels like whatever this authority figure, this kind of priestly kind of above everyone else figure was, that person is just not it anymore. And I feel like you're stepping into that leadership position, that authority position, and your blessing is just straight up power. Pearl number 2. That's really cool. So let's look at your other 2 cards. We have Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Maybe whoever this person was, or whatever this authority was, made you kind of feel like an outsider. Made you kind of feel like you don't belong wherever you are. Now, this doesn't necessarily... Okay, so initially I thought of like a workplace situation where your boss is just not it, and you're basically stepping up and being promoted and replacing them. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe even like a family situation or like a housemate situation, a living situation of some sort, where you feel like you've been treated as an outcast, as an outsider this whole time, and now you're stepping into a position where you make the choices, you make the decisions, you control your own fate. Maybe you're moving out and finding your own place, you know? It could be something as clear as that. Maybe you're finally able to step away from this situation, this almost like a dictatorship type situation, and step into an energy where you get to make all of the choices for yourself and your own life and the direction that you want to go in. And your second oracle card is the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. What did I just say about stepping away from that? This card usually only comes out for me when there's like a breakup involved, when, you know, something is falling apart. And maybe you do have a falling out with this authority person. I actually just watched Encanto, like the Disney movie. And it almost feels like that moment. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it feels like that moment where Mirabelle kind of defies her grandmother and essentially breaks up that relationship. And it is eventually fixed. And, you know, this card says softening to love. So maybe there is like a falling out and coming back together. Maybe on equal footing this time. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe whoever you fall out with isn't... Okay, so maybe it's not that you literally replace them or you literally walk away from them, but maybe this is an end to how your relationship has been this far. This definitely feels like almost maybe a parent or a grandparent figure or a teacher or a boss, something like that. Somewhere where you felt trampled by this person, like you are not given your due respect. And that is changing for you this holiday season. Yeah, respect and power, that's what's coming. So let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot. We have the Empress, which is Taurus energy. Again, more Taurus energy. Maybe this person is a Taurus. Maybe you have Taurus placements, or maybe this has been an issue that's been happening since Taurus season. Interesting. We have the Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this definitely feels like there's 2 threes as well. Maybe in the 3rd week of December, or I don't know, the 3rd month of the year, or 3 months from now is when this kind of conflict comes your way. The Three of Cups upright usually talks about... Actually, hang on. I'm being called to look at the book. For some keywords, because I think you might... The Three of Cups in reverse. Overindulgence, infidelity, disintegrating bonds, gossip, isolation. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I feel like some sort of relationship, something, is either coming to an end or it's going through like a transformative death moment where either you're breaking that bond or you stop feeling so isolated in this relationship. Well, you know, it doesn't, you know, when I say relationship, it could be a working relationship, you know, anything like a professional one, whatever it is. But with the Empress here, it definitely feels, especially with this imagery, do you see how she's just happy to be surrounded by the things she has grown? She's happy to just be by herself, look inwards, and focus on what she's doing, which in this case is praying, definitely feels like you are just content doing your own thing. And that eventually gets you to this position of authority, is you just minding your own business, for lack of better words. Because it feels like this person, whoever this is the kind to meddle in other people's business. And maybe that's what gets them replaced. Maybe that's what gets them out of whatever position they hold. And we have the Ace of Cups. A new emotional beginning. Again, conflict softening to love. Conflict softening to love. Yeah, I don't think this relationship just ends completely. I think the blessing is, okay, this might sound a little crazy, but the blessing is a conflict. It is something coming to a head because, hear me out, because it means that you're discussing these things. You are voicing what makes you unhappy about this situation. You're voicing the changes that you need in order to feel better supported in this connection, for this relationship to work. And I do feel like a peaceful resolution will most likely be the outcome. But even if it isn't, I feel like you're definitely coming out on top, because the overall energy is this King of Pentacles or King of Coins. So whatever conflict or whatever arises, whatever conversation you do end up having, you are definitely ending up in a place of love and power and abundance, regardless of what the other person ends up like. And that's what you're being called to focus on. Pile number 2. That's interesting. So let's take a look at some clarifiers. Clarifying the Empress, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. So maybe the reason it's all coming to a head is that you realize this is not fulfilling. You're not able to find your ultimate joy and expression of your true self in this situation. Going back to like the example of this being like an authoritarian family member, maybe you're realizing that this person is just simply not creating space for you to be your best self, your truest, most authentic self. And maybe that's what, and this whole time you've held it in and you've done your own thing, but it's coming to a head where you just simply cannot bite your tongue anymore. And that sort of, it almost feels like a cognitive dissonance, where on the one hand you want to convince yourself that this is okay, my situation is fine, I don't have to change anything, let things go on as they are. And then on the other hand, you feel a little bit like, why should I settle when there is no space for me to be who I am here? Why should I stick around? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. To clarify the 3 of Cups in reverse, we have the 10 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely a conflict that you've been avoiding this whole time, pile number 2. And it is getting to a point where you simply cannot avoid it anymore. And that would make sense with, the whole thing about holiday season is it makes you face people that you don't necessarily want to face. And it just, tensions rise and things get complicated and messy when you're around people that you don't want to be around. And in your case, it's really being highlighted that this conflict is the blessing. And that's because it leads to a conversation that is long overdue. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, like I really get the vibe that you've been avoiding having this talk or having this whole process go through. Oh God, I feel like I can't even breathe. I'm so anxious right now. So it feels like this will put an end to the anxiety once and for all, whichever way the cards fall. Bit of a pun there, unintentional, I promise. And your clarifier for the Ace of Cups is the Devil in reverse. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, this, whatever the outcome is, you will be free. You'll be free of this unfulfilling, very one-sided contract almost. Maybe it is a work situation and maybe you are contracted to be around this person that you don't want to be around. And, it's something that you have to have a serious think about or a serious talk about. And it releases you from this really bad contract. That is interesting. Your blessing seems to be a long overdue conversation. At the very least, the right conditions to have that conversation without feeling just completely attacked. It could be this Mars energy, this strength, this inner fire that will propel you to have this conversation. Maybe you're getting to a point where enough is enough and you finally grow the confidence to have this conversation. That's your blessing, pile number 2. So go ahead and think either of a question or simply of the advice you would want to receive regarding these blessings. And let's go ahead and shuffle some advice for you or some answers. What's the advice / answer for pile 2 about their blessing? Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? Maybe this is a literal conversation you have with your actual mum about I fully lost my train of thought. It feels like a conversation you will be having with either a mother or a maternal figure about maybe them being a little overbearing almost, or maybe them not giving you the kind of freedoms and power that you need, that you deserve. And if this conflict doesn't work out, maybe it's time to give yourself that nurturing and that freedom that you so desperately need. It's interesting because there's a very similar imagery of looking inside, and the Empress is usually seen as, pregnant, about to give birth, that kind of like gestating, which is mother energy, isn't it? That's so interesting. This could be a mother wound. It really could. But how can you mother yourself is the question to ask. And one more card for advice. Whoa, okay. I don't know how to say this word, but because this card wanted to jump out, it says longing for home, homesick for the stars. I don't know how to, I'm pretty sure it's a Welsh word, and Welsh words are never said the way they are spelt. They're never phonetic, so I don't know how to say this, but longing for home, homesick for the stars. Yeah, it again, belonging, longing for home. That's 2 cards from 2 separate decks with the same message. This one says longing for home, this one says longing for home. That's wild. Pile 2, you do not feel at home, and Your blessing this holiday season is the strength and the ability to have this conversation, to come out and be like, actually, this is not working out for me. This is not where I want to be in life. And that realization is significantly more powerful than you think it is, I promise. So that's your reading for the blessings coming your way, Pal 2. It was a little unusual, but I do hope this reading brought you some support and clarity regardless. If it resonated, then please remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Thank you so much for spending your time and energy with me and allowing me to read for you today. I really hope whatever the situation is, resolves itself quickly and effortlessly. Have a happy holiday season. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 3. Hi, welcome to your reading about what blessings are coming your way this holiday season. Now, first of all, if you picked this cool teardrop / leaf-shaped pebble, then this is your reading. Before we dive into the actual cards, I just really want to say, I feel like you guys are very organized, very particular about how you like your things to be, how you like your things to be arranged, things like that. Also, if you hear any creaking, that's my chair, and I do apologize. But when I was shuffling your cards, they came out it almost felt like the deck was being very particular about which cards come out and where they go. It was almost like very purposeful, and I feel like that's definitely you because the deck did not behave like this at any other point in the readings so far in any of the other piles. So anyway, maybe that's confirmation that you picked the right pile, if that sounds like you. But the way I've organized this reading is we've got 2 tarot cards and 2 oracle cards that will give us a general overview of what your blessing is this holiday season. Again, you don't have to be someone who celebrates the holidays or anything like that. This is just referring to a time period late this year and early next year. So this will give us a general overview of the blessing coming your way. Then we have some tarot cards and some clarifiers down here that will give us more information about this blessing. And finally, we'll shuffle a couple of oracle cards on screen as maybe an answer to a question you have or just a general advice. So pile number 3, let's dive into your reading. Your first cards are the 8 of Coins in reverse and the King of Cups. Okay. Pile 3, do you have workaholic tendencies? I've been reconsidering my workaholic tendencies a lot this last couple of weeks. And let me tell you, the blessing coming your way is you not feeling this almost compulsion to work quite as hard as you do or have been doing. It feels like you're able to sort of see through a lens of a little more emotional maturity that maybe work isn't all there is to life. Maybe there's other stuff out there that you should be or can be doing. That isn't just, your 9-to-5 grind type deal. The blessing feels like it feels almost like a growing up moment, but growing up to you in this situation means not working quite as much. So generally speaking, when we talk about growing up, we talk about getting serious, focusing, doing the things that we need to do, just adulting, right? Whereas for you, it kind of feels like the opposite. It kind of feels like realizing that maybe you've been using work or just being constantly go, go, go as a mode of escapism. And maybe you've been avoiding your deep emotional needs and deep emotional issues by burying yourself in work. And this holiday season is bringing you clarity about that. And also maybe an opportunity to just rest and recuperate and, refocus your mind on what's really important. Maybe you're spending some time with your family that reminds you of, just why you've been working so hard, what you're working this hard for. Oh, that's lovely. Maybe you have children and you realize that being there for them doesn't just mean providing for them, but also providing an emotional sort of nourishment, not just for them, but also for yourself as a parent. That's just an example. You don't have to be a parent, but, that's kind of what's coming through with this King of Cups. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle cards. We have all paths lead home, inner authority, turn your gaze within. Yeah, it's not going to focus. Intuition. All paths lead home. I think you're definitely getting to a place where you realize maybe I want to spend more time at home with the people that I love, as opposed to just constantly going away and trying to avoid letting myself be loved. Maybe there's a fear of abandonment, of like, if I let people in too close, they might abandon me and then I'll regret opening my heart up to people. Maybe that's just going too deep. I don't know. You know your situation better. But it definitely feels like you're kind of learning to embrace your inner homebody a little more. And we have Starseed, what lights you up. Yeah, you're starting to realize that maybe this grind 9-to-5 culture doesn't light you up anymore. And maybe you've been almost using it to avoid facing your shadows. And this holiday season is really shining a light on that, on your tendencies to avoid emotional healing or emotional expression, something like that. That's interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and look at your cards. So for your main cards, we have the Two of Cups. Aww. Yeah, I feel like you're finally realizing what love is, and you're realizing that it's not just pouring all of your energy into providing for the people you love. Maybe this is a partner that you feel you haven't had enough time for, and you're realizing that what would really light you up would be to spend more time with them. And maybe the universe this holiday season is aligning so that you're able to spend this much needed time with your partner or with the people that you love in general. Yeah, there we go. That's that confirmation back. The next card we have is the Nine of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Swords upright is essentially the anxiety card. So to have this in reverse, I feel like there's a lot of anxiety that leads you to work so hard. It's a lot of fear. And maybe that's what you've been avoiding facing. Maybe burying yourself in work is kind of like a self-soothing tactic. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I do feel like you work so hard in order to avoid feeling this fear of, maybe there's a fear of taking a break. Maybe there's this feeling that if I stop working so hard, if I'm not just constantly go, go, go all the time, I'm not going to be able to be there for the people that I love. I'm not going to be able to support the people that I love. And maybe that is literally your situation, but this holiday season is blessing you with maybe more money than you're used to. And that allows you to really take some time off and to really like settle and enjoy your time with the people that you love, as opposed to worrying the whole time about whether spending your time at home or spending your time with family is taking away from potential earnings at work. Does that make sense? And we have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups came out for a different pile, but it was in the reverse. But you have it upright. Do you see? It's so much love and abundance and family. This holiday season is having you feeling so deeply loved. Pile 3. And it's kind of this like deep kind of water love. Okay, that sounds a little crazy, but you see all the upright cards are cup cards, and this has water, this has what looks like a waterfall. There's a lot of emotional depth that you are realizing this holiday season, pile 3. You're kind of realizing that what you thought was important in life may not be it. What you thought your role was in your family unit may not be that. Which, for instance, maybe you see yourself as the sole provider for your family. And maybe you think that's why people love you, is because you provide for them. And something happens this holiday season to really open your eyes and show you that actually you are loved because you exist. Not because you do things for people or you work so hard or you earn money or you provide for your family, but you are loved simply because you exist. And that is your biggest blessing this holiday season. I feel like I need to talk to you a lot more gently. Maybe people have not necessarily been kind to you recently. Maybe people have just not given you the love and respect that you deserve, and that's kind of made you spiral into this feeling of the only way I'm gonna have any respect shown to me is if I establish myself as the sole provider for my family unit. And this holiday season is showing you that that's an anxiety thought, and that's not necessarily reality, but it's your mind's distorted version of reality, because our mind is here to protect us. And when we feel unsafe, when we feel abandoned, we kind of try to find the quickest explanation for why this is so we can try and fix it. And maybe your mind came up with the thought of, if I work hard enough, if I provide enough for my family, then I am worthy of love. And if I'm not being shown that love and respect, it's because I'm not working hard enough. And so I'm going to work harder to maybe be worthy of that respect. And this holiday season is kind of opening your eyes to the fact that you don't have to do things in order to buy people's love. You simply need to be who you are. And the people who are meant to love you will love you regardless. That is so sweet, pile 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at your clarifiers. To clarify the Two of Cups, we have the Devil. Interesting. So the Devil talks about contracts, usually unfair ones. This is a very solid Capricorn energy as well, which is funny because holiday season usually leads to Capricorn season around like January, February. Maybe you're like, sorry, I just cracked my knuckle really loud. I tend to kind of do that when I'm a little nervous. Maybe you're dealing with some anxiety right now. But the devil, maybe there's a contract you're signing, or maybe you're clarifying the terms of a relationship, like solidifying it. Or maybe you're rewriting terms of a relationship because you've got this newfound understanding of your role in this relationship. Or you're making things official with someone, because the devil contracts under the Two of Cups, which is like a true love kind of situation. Maybe you're making things official. Maybe you're becoming someone's official partner or making them your official partner, that kind of thing. It's the eyes of this snake are really standing out to me. Maybe there's something about looking yourself in the eye and learning to love whatever you see in the mirror, regardless of what your situation is. Learning to accept yourself, not just for all the things that you think you do for other people, but learning to love and accept yourself unconditionally, whether or not you're able to do those things for people in the same capacity as you have been so far. That's so interesting. Pile 3, I feel like I want to just relax and, calm down and chill out. And there's always one pile in every one of my readings that makes me feel that way. So if you're that pile, give me a shout in the comments, because I feel like you're a recurring presence in my psyche. So clarifying the Nine of Swords in reverse, we have the Page of Coins. Interesting. So with the Page of Coins, okay, generally it talks about a new investment or starting up on your financial journey, or starting up on like your physical journey on this planet, like building abundance, that kind of thing. In this context, it feels like you're taking very solid steps, maybe on the advice of a therapist I just heard, to work on this anxiety, to work on this feeling of, I only deserve love if I can offer something of value, because value, the way we understand it, is different for everyone. And maybe in your past, you've only seen value in yourself if you were able to provide financial abundance for the people that you love. And across holiday season, you're starting to recognize that you are more than what you can do for people, and you're starting to make very concrete choices, very concrete plans on how you're going to deal with this feeling every time it pops up I'm hearing for like the rest of 2024, really. Maybe that's one of your New Year's resolutions, is to really solidify this feeling of self-worth that isn't tied to your net worth. And I feel like you're going to start a new journey with that. A new journey with finding out who you really are. Clarifying the Ten of Cups, we have temperance, balance, learning to find not just a static balance, but a dynamic one. This is Sagittarius energy. You're stepping into a time where you're quite literally creating a work-life balance, but not necessarily like a very static one where you're like, okay, X amount of hours of work, X amount of hours at home. But it's more like recognizing your patterns, emotional patterns, and learning that maybe you should be a little more flexible with how much work you do versus how much rest you have, as opposed to being quite so rigid about your schedule and your timetable and things like that. You're stepping into an energy of, I'm going to start recognizing when I need rest, and I'm going to take those days off because I matter to me just as much as my family or my loved ones do. I am just as important to me as the people that I love are. I love myself enough to know that it's okay to not be on top of everything at all times. I need this balance in order to be the best version of myself, in order to show up in the way my family and friends and workplace need me to show up. This feels a lot more physical than mental or emotional. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, it feels a lot more real worldy as opposed to like something psychic. It feels like you are literally working yourself to the bone, and this holiday season is showing you that that may not always be exactly what you need and exactly what the people you love need. So pile 3, that is so cool. Go ahead and either think of a question or just ask for general advice, and let's go ahead and shuffle some oracle cards for you now. So for pile 3, what's the advice or answer? Thank you. Yeah, see, very specific. I feel like you're a very organized person. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. It's that laying foundation that really gets me. It really feels like you're starting on a journey of healing in a way where you're kind of healing your self-worth issues. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. I think you're recognizing that you are a divine being. Obviously, we all are. And you're recognizing that as such, you probably deserve more than what you put yourself through, simply to try and earn people's respect and affection and love. Respect is what keeps coming out. I feel like you've been disrespected before, and you're doing everything in your power to not feel that feeling ever again. I feel like I want to read from the book for this. Just a moment. Let's see. Page 88, abundance. Again, the number 8 talks about abundance, about money and finances and that kind of thing, which I feel like has been the theme of your entire reading. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was an ancient mystic who dedicated her life to laying the foundations for Christ consciousness to be woven through all of life. She's not widely known, but without her, Christ consciousness would not be rising as it is today. Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. I feel like in this context, that literally translates to the way you've been living. It feels like the only thing in your life is service, is working for other people. One person's part is not worthier than another. One person's part may be to mother their children, another's may be to gather women in circle each month. No part is better or worse, more important or less significant. I feel like this is the message for you, is to understand that your role in life does not make you a good person or a bad person. What you do is not who you are. Does that make sense? A lot of us identify our worth with our work. And sadly, that's kind of not just common, but it's heavily encouraged in our society, in our capitalistic hellscape of life. But this holiday season is kind of showing you that actually that's a lie fed to me. And just because I need to take some time off and just because I want to take some time off does not make me any less worthy of the money that I have or of the love and respect that I have from the people around me. One more final card for my pile number 3, please. Oh, that one. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Yeah, you've definitely been living in the extremes of life, pile 3. But it feels like there's someone that feels like surrender to you, where you just want to literally fall into their arms and the whole world seems okay. Seek that person out and give them almost, I don't want to say give them your burdens because that's not what we do, but it almost feels like give them the opportunity to be there for you. That's the one. Give them the opportunity to be there and to hold you and to keep you safe, I hear. Keep you safe. That's strange. But I feel like you have so much support and you've convinced yourself that you don't. But if you look around and if you reach out and ask, you'll realize that you are way more loved for who you are than you realize. So that's the blessing coming your way, pile 3. Wow, that got really deep really quickly. But I really hope it resonated. And if it did, let me know in the comments below and give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me and letting me read for you today. I hope it helped. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Stick around to the outro for more readings. And that's about everything. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.